Welcome to the Flea Factory podcast, where we explore how to put together your life, your passions, your skills, and your responsibilities. Don't forget to subscribe on your favourite podcast app. Hope you enjoy.
Keep your voice loud, your heart of gold. Disregard everything that you've been told. Keep your mind set in the headlights. It's the story of your life. Dreamer, you're a rebel.
Welcome back. All right, so today I'm out and about. You're going to probably hear a difference in sound quality. I hope this is going to work, but I was out and about in the city and I thought I'd just sit down and I guess share with you for a few minutes. So today I posted something on social media and I'm going to read it to you. And I guess I'm going to read it to you because, I don't know, I hope it's true. So here we go. So this is a quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald. And he says, "For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early, to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Start whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people who have a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again." I'm not going to lie to you, this last week and a bit has been tough. Got out of the blocks quickly with the podcast and interviewed some people and had some great conversations, and this last week has been probably, best way to describe it is the crippling reality of responsibilities. It's been a week where I'm having to come to terms with the fact that pursuing something you love, as I've tried to for many years, also doesn't necessarily pay the bills. I guess what I don't want you to lose sight of is that in the midst of all of these conversations with people, what we tend to do is we're reflecting and we're looking back. We're looking back on stories with hindsight. And ultimately we know the ending to these stories, or at least we know the next few chapters to the stories. And what I don't want you to lose, and I don't want myself to lose, is the fact that these stories, when they're being built and created and lived, they're tough. See, I think often we can tell stories, and obviously when we tell those stories, we tell the highlights, because obviously that's what we do. And I think the stories of the people I've had on so far have been mixed with some real reality of it being tough and the courageous steps that they've taken and the bravery that they've shown. But I guess I'm wanting to share with you live in the middle of the tough. You see, when I talk about being on a quest, it's not just an idea for a podcast. It's not just a concept that I thought might be fun to try. It's real. I'm right in the middle of it. I don't know how to make this work. I don't know if this can work. I'm not quite sure what to do next. I'm discouraged. I'm unsure. I'm looking for jobs on the internet again because I'm faced with the realities of my life, that I'm married, I have 5 children, I have a mortgage, I've just recently moved my mum and my grandmother in to live with me so I can help look after them. I don't have the ability to just do whatever I want for as long as I want without it producing some kind of, I guess, financial fruit. But I'm trying to battle the quote that I just read you, that I've got to be brave, because to not continue to push and to not continue to try things will just lead with predictability of me doing things that don't fill me up. But to be honest, right now, I ain't got a clue how to do that at the same time as provide for my family. So I mean it when I'm trying to balance the passions and the skills and responsibilities, because right now this week has been just a reminder of how crushing responsibilities can be. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to change my life. I don't want anything any different. I don't want the people that I care for to not be people that I care for. I don't want to change my responsibilities, but they're real. And I can't just decide tomorrow morning to do whatever I want and go wherever I please. I've signed up to do life together with people, and I want this to be my life, but it comes with its own set of challenges. So I guess I wanted to just talk to you about that live, like while it's happening, rather than just tell you the story before and hopefully a fun story after. So I've also been reflecting on what I've been learning from the first 3, conversations I've had with some friends of mine, and it's interesting. They've just been in some ways vastly different conversations, but they've had themes. And I guess from Zach, I've been learning that you just sometimes have to try your hand at things, whether you've got a background in them or not, and sometimes you just have to be brave enough to give something a go as it appears. And that if I'd have asked him 15 years ago if he'd be doing what he is today, he wouldn't have, it wouldn't have even dawned on him that was what he would be doing. So I guess I'm just continuing to dance the dance or walk the walk and just do what's next and what's in front of you. And I think I've been learning that from Zach, and I've been continuing to stay in touch with him over the last couple of weeks. And he's launched his blog, a photo blog, and he's risking and daring too. And he's telling the story of what's happening in Hong Kong right now. There's just so much happening on the ground there, with all sorts of political unrest, and he's right in the thick of it, and he sees himself there for such a time as this. And he doesn't know, but he wants to tell stories through his photos and through his blog. And so, check that out. It's called StoryZ on Facebook. Learning and I guess what's been really encouraging is we've been encouraging each other over the last couple of weeks. And I can't really do anything for him, and he can't do anything for me, but we can continue to encourage each other just to keep going. And that's been a really, just a refreshing thing. And especially to reconnect with someone who I haven't seen and spoken to for so long. From my conversation with David, his commitment and dedication to continue to work doing things that have provided for him, and then being brave enough to just take that initial step of a couple of months to really commit himself to the hard work of writing his first manuscript was really challenging for me. And I guess for me, I still can't get my head around that. The discipline to do that still resulted in that is the manuscript that isn't yet published, but it led to doors starting to open, and he just kind of continually, bravely and courageously stepped into those things. And I don't know, I'm challenged by his commitment and his work ethic to go after it, and to just also take constructive criticism, to relearn the way that he writes, and to write for the audience that he needs to. And it's just I was really encouraged by that, and I want to learn from that, and I want to see what that looks like. And my conversation with Johan was just a lot of fun, and my kids had been listening to that podcast, and I said to them, "What are you learning?" And firstly they said, "We're learning that Johan is cool." And I said, "Well, you already knew that." But what they ultimately, my oldest and my second eldest son, was saying that they're learning that you don't just have to do one thing. That your life is long and it's varied, and there's different things that you do, and there's different things that you learn along the way, and you pick up the skills that you need from the things that you've done, even though you don't know that you'll need them later on. And life can be an adventure and a story, but you've got to just keep moving. And so, my takeaway encouragement from Johan is that life is what you make it, and you can be all sorts of things and do all sorts of things with your life, and they can be meaningful, and they can build powerful story. And I really, really enjoyed talking to Johan about his story, and I just think there's so much more for me to hear from the three of them. in time we'll come back and revisit their stories and dig a bit deeper. But I'm really looking forward to this next week. I've got another couple of conversations coming up with a couple of friends of mine, and they've got different stories again. One's a mum, and how she's juggled that and work and life and her passions. The other one's a young girl she's in her early 20s, and she's back at uni, but she's had an amazing journey of trying to piece her future and what she's passionate about, and so I'm really excited to hear from them and to listen and learn from them as well. And so I don't know, today I hope this isn't a ramble, but today I wanted to just say to you, this is real, that this quest is real and live for me, and I've been really discouraged this week. Been discouraged that I don't know what to do next, and I can't seem to make it work yet. And I don't have 50 grand in the bank that'll enable me to just go after some fanciful idea for a year to try and make something work. I don't have that. I gave my life to working in areas that were not financially lucrative to me, and that's okay, because there's huge amounts of fruit from what I did with my life for 20 years. But it hasn't given me a whole lot of capacity to risk, and but I'm still trying to do it because I can't not. And I catch myself back on the employment pages thinking I don't want to do this. There are jobs out there that I probably could do and I'd be good at, and I've got this nagging, deep, unsettled feeling that I have to try and do something else. And I'm trying to work that out. I want it to be telling stories. I want it to be hearing stories and uncovering stories. I want it to be sharing that with others. I want to be encouraging others to go on their own quest to work out what their life looks like, to put together. But this week's been tough, and hence there's not been a podcast this week because I didn't want to talk about it and I didn't know how to talk about it, and I've had to overcome the feeling that I needed to get on this podcast and be all positive and encourage you. And maybe this is encouraging me, being honest, but it's been tough. It's been a real, been a rough week. At the same time, I've had some amazing feedback and people touching base and saying they're appreciating the conversation so far, and to keep going and to keep pushing, and so that's been really nice. I haven't really wanted to hear that, as it's just been a tough reality this week. But I want to keep pushing. I want to do it, and who knows what that could come of. I don't know. So I'm going to stop rambling now, and I just want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for subscribing and bothering to I don't know, be along the journey of trying to work out what this is. But I really hope you're getting something out of it. I really hope that these stories are encouraging and potentially challenging. And I hope my authenticity today is encouraging to you as well. But I couldn't do any other kind of podcast today, but I thought it was important that I did. So, all right. You might hear from me one more time before the next conversations are up, but late next week, I've got another couple of conversations coming up, which will come out probably over the weekend or the early next week. But I'm really looking forward to those, and I hope you are too. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.
Thanks for joining me on today's podcast. I hope you really enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe on your favourite podcast app. And also, I'd love for you to take a minute to have a look at my Patreon page. All the links are going to be below, so check it out. I'll see you soon. See ya.
Your heart of gold, disregard everything that you've been told. Keep your mind set